I can't in good conscience give away even small bits of loot to people who camp. Alright, Malinovka, standard, no artillery. They've got more tank destroyers, which is good for you. It usually means that they'll be a little bit more campy, especially the slower ones like the AT-15, the T-28 Proto. And the STA, I'd probably take Hill still. I don't know that you necessarily want to spot in the field. It's not really necessary. I usually just turn and start heading up towards the church. And you can look and see what your team is doing in the meantime and figure out where to go there. You should be able to dominate on that hill, though. The only thing that they can send up there would be the T-44. But you guys have more than enough speed to counter that. And then I was like going through the back. Like, you don't want to go out and see where you're at right now. If they do that outside loop over there, you can get lit right there. So I always drive through pretty much see where how deep this FCM is. If you go about that deep, you're pretty safe in the majority of tanks. So if you're in like a big old waffle or an E100, you might want to go a little bit deeper than that. But you don't want to go too shallow. So your type is going up towards the hill, looks like. You've got guys over here already. I don't like going over here if there's already a bunch of dudes over here, because I think that it's an oversaturation. You guys are just basically jockeying for positions, and nothing is really that great. Lol, the Roomba. So your FCM and your type are going hill. Predictably, they have a couple of dudes over there. I would focus more on these guys right across the way if you've got shots. Especially when there's no artillery, it's really easy to take this hill. I would consider going up there still at this point. You're not going to get a whole lot of good shots unless people literally just drive out in front of you. You've got a Panther 88, a Bulldog, and a 12T in this area anyway, so it's like the spotting is redundant.
It's a trap!
I would be looking to get shots on these guys over here on your left. Like, that should be your focus. You don't want them to be able to push your guys. You're not really going to get a good shot. I mean, I guess unless he gives you side turret like that. You want to be able to focus on these guys right here. Those back guys are in the ditch, but like this Bulldog, for example, you can shoot. Well, he conveniently stopped in the path of your shell. Like, you can still... And that IS is still a little bit low. Like, you're not being effective enough where you're at, right? You're only getting guys that are basically poking out. Although, each time I say that, they do something additionally stupid. Yeah, you need to see if you can help these guys up on the hill, I think. Oh, this KV4 likes giving you side. Shoot the drive wheel. Right, a little bit more to the right. Yeah, I would go, I mean, you can still help these guys on the hill. This FCM is too far back to help that type. You're just being a little too passive. Like, you know, there's... you're not getting a whole lot of very good shots. Lol, KV4, he's gonna go forward in the river. Don't take that shot. Just wait. Now, see how he turns there? Then that's when you shoot for the drive wheel there.
It's a trap!
Still got a bunch of guys on the hill. They're coming up behind you. Now, shoot the more forward guy. Yeah. You could go over there and push that guy. He ISO'd himself.
It's a trap!
That was the T-29. Which means he's probably got the 90. You can still push that T-44. You're not getting any good shots on those guys over there. There's guys literally in your base that are a much bigger threat than anything else right now. You need to like get a little bit closer. Not everything is... Oh, it's a T-150 over there. I thought it was a T-29. Oh, there is a T-29 over there as well, but... Shoot the T-29, but... I was gonna say, because otherwise the T-29 is a threat to your guy. Well, apparently not much of a threat. And then push that T-37 and clear it out, because you want to clear out this side over here. That's fine, you have shots. Yeah, take them. Okay, you don't know, that was a little interesting landing shot, but okay. I'll go find that. You could also go help on the hill. Oh look, there's T-37. Yeah, you don't want to be up on that side too far. I mean, you don't know where the Roomba will move to, but at this point the T-37 is not going to be that much of a threat, especially if he just sits there for some reason. This enemy team. I think you're going to need to go up there. I mean, you've got a bunch of low health guys up there. Like, you've basically driven to this area, and you've had some shots, but... Go up there! Just drive up there!
It's a trap!
Yeah, just leave. You need to just leave. Everybody on the hill is dead. So now you need to leave and let them push off the hill and come up towards you. So go back down towards the cap. You need to find that charioteer too. So what I would do is push out either to this A line over here. You need to get someplace where they're not all up on your grill.
It's a trap!
The KV-4 is right on you. Lol. Now the charioteer is still going to be behind you, so you need to get out of the area that you're in. So you can go to like A5 and then move east and then try to get behind the AT-15. want to cut in front of the AT-15 here. You want to go, yeah, over here. And then cut over to the east side. No, that's fine. No, just go. Just go. Because you need to get out of the charioteer's influence. The charioteer was probably camping most of the game too. There's still 5 minutes left, and if the charioteer gets in cap, you'll have time to get to him. Stay in the ditch. Stay in the ditch. Stay in the ditch. I guess. So you need to be at an area where you can close on him.
It's a trap!
Right, and you're not in that area. That distance between you and him is far too great for you to close. So you need to be spotted at a distance where you can close on him and get to his side.
It's a trap!
You know, the charioteer is eventually going to shoot you from down by your cap. So stay in the ditch, although now he knows that you're over here, so that's a little bit of a moot point, but... There he is!
It's a trap!
Just keep going up the hill. No, just keep going up the hill. They're both in the... You know that they're not trying to cap you out, which is to your advantage, but you still need to whittle them down. Yeah, be careful when you take this low ground, because they can still spot you there.
It's a trap!
Yeah, charioteer's just gonna push you. You can push the charioteer and hope he low rolls. That's pretty much the best bet. Again, this is a situation where you want to close gap.
It's a trap!
He doesn't have very... So you should be able to get a good shot here. Take your time, take your time.
It's a trap!
And then here you go. This is the 50-50 moment. Back up out of spotted range. And then just back up. So what you want to do is just back up out of spotted range. Make him... Yeah, he's got the little gun. Good, take your time. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure how you lose this, to be quite honest. Oh, because the AT-15's right there. Drive off the hill. Drive off the hill. Anyhow. Okay, so the major problem that I saw was that you spent way too much time right here, especially in that mid game where you're, or sorry, the mid to late game where your guys were all starting to get to low health here. You could tell that they were getting ready to push. You had some shots on certain guys because their team played it, you know, about as potatoes as they can be. But sometimes, you know, you have to go to where you have to fix the bleeding at where your team is dying. And I felt like you could have made a difference up on top of the hill for your team. In the early to mid game, you sat over here and you didn't really have that great of shots. I mean, you were able to shoot a couple of tanks, particularly that T-28 Proto that was side profile over here, but that was pretty much it. You didn't really have a whole lot of good shots, and especially when there's no artillery and you've got other tanks over here. There were 3 other tanks over here with you. I don't think that this is a super important place to play. I think it's good to occasionally be able to light these guys over here and also prevent them from just driving across easily, but otherwise I think the game is more important to be won up here, particularly if you get your gun up here and these guys are lit up there, then you can shoot down into this area as well. Otherwise, and then at the end, I thought you played the end okay. You don't want to poke against 2 tanks at once. You always want to make it when it's you against 2 tanks at the end of a game. You want to make it into a 1-on-1 and then a 1-on-1. You never want to make it into a 1-on-2. If it's ever a 1-on-2, that's not to your advantage, and you shouldn't do it. You should look to create the 1-on-1s. And it's not peek and poke against tank destroyers. It's get to the flank. Otherwise, I thought it was pretty good. Let's see the stats. And that 5100 that was camping in the base did decently. Yeah, your team didn't do too horribly. I mean, some of these guys down here were pretty bad, but that'll happen. Their T-29 was the guy on the hill. The LTTB was the guy. I don't think he was on the hill. He might have been. Their E-25 drove up the hill eventually. Yeah, most of their damage was hill guys. Like their top, these 4 guys were all hill, in my estimation. The Roomba was playing in the back of the base spawn for most of that, but that's just all kind of irrelevant damage to some extent. Anyhow, not too bad. Your shooting efficiency was okay. You got to be careful when you shoot against that KV-4. A lot of times shooting that drive wheel, particularly if he's angled out at you, he gave you a lot of sight and a lot of shots. You'll either deal damage or you'll at least track him out there, either of which is good. Otherwise, GG. I will send you a code. Well, I'll send a code to your... I'll send you the code on the forums, the World of Tanks forums, the official forums. Yeah, my sinuses are killing me. Alright, next is Object 140 on Ruinberg. It was a little campy, but I don't think it was excessively campy. I think he felt like he had shots. So to some extent that's important, but like, when we do reviews like this, what I'm trying to point out is here is where your team was about to die, and like you have to recognize that during the course of the game. My team is about to die on the hill, and if you've got full health, then you should probably relocate. It becomes less important. Whatever it is that you're doing becomes less important, especially when you're in a redundant position, right? That Panther 88 was in the same position as you, that Bulldog was in the same position as you. You look to the weak points on your team and make sure that you can fix that. Alright, I would go field, and then I usually take this north side of this F line. You can just drive straight there. They don't really have an overmatch there per se. They have the 140 and the 120, but they've just got a bunch of light tanks, but so do you, so it should be fine. And then always look and see what your team does. Most of your heavies are going town, but you have an E100 driving out here, which is kind of weird. T57 looks like he's going to K-line camp, JT K-line camp, T49 K-line camp. Looks like their mouse is going 6 line. They got a Tiger 2 in the field. See that 140 out there? So you know that he's going to be on that 0 line, but he'll probably camp pretty far back. Like he'll probably camp in these buildings over here, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Try not to go outside too early. You can get shots on this guy over here. You can light through this area right here to get shots, see where these guys are over there. Those guys probably aren't going to drive out to where you're at. That's one of the reasons why you want to play over in this sort of F9 area, because crack kills. And you get shots on that T49. T49's got the small gun, the 90. This is where auto aim is good for slow moving tanks around corners and things like that. And again, be up on this wall. You can push this 140. This 140 is overextended. Lock him in there. You can just literally lock him. No. Ignore that guy. Ignore that guy. Just get the 140. The 140 is overextended. Like, see how he's literally on your side of the F line.
It's a trap.
Oh, the E100's here to save the day. Their mouse has gotten to that E6 position. That's good. That's good. Your T49 will maybe help you at some point once it loads. No, so you don't want to play this slow. You want to play that a little bit faster than that because you're sitting in an arty lane. Okay, don't push too far forward. Look to your right. There's a guy right there. The mouse is moving west, so get up on this wall right here. This is the best wall in the game for you. This wall right here. These 3 buildings right there allow you to spot everything there. It gives you cover, it gives you good shots. Get over here. This is safe. People are trying to shoot you. They have at least 1 tank destroyer back here, or another duder over there. Push up! Push up! Get the guy behind the E100.
It's a trap!
Don't chase him. Don't chase him. Just... I was going to say, because all you have to do is just wait over there on that 0 line, and he's going to allow you to shoot him, because he's got nowhere to run. It looks like an AFK. I wouldn't worry about him. The GWE's, now on the other hand, is a problem. Now this is where you should probably just use regular aim. You're losing on the other side. Well, I'm surprised I hit him. I see if you can find the GWE. You're always going to be lit. You need to see if you can find that GWE. Your E100 is going to die no matter what you do. The GWE is probably going to be back there, if not, if he hasn't run. There he is. There you go. He's not even paying attention, despite the fact that you're lit the entire time. Okay, good job. Yeah, I would go towards the E75. Don't worry about the E100. You've got plenty of guys in the field to get him, but your Bulldog's going to die soon, so you want to try to get over there as quickly as you can. I would put on cap pressure, actually. They're too far back already. You need to try to take down that E75. E75! E75!
It's a trap!
Just turn around and run away, because you're not going to be able to outduel the T-57. Look to track. Good job. Oh, the counter track. VSAD. Yeah, you could have saved yourself a lot of health over here just by going up to this wall right here. So when you drove up over here, you saw that the 140 was locked in over here. You had guys over here. You had guys behind you that E100 was driving up. All you have to do is just drive in behind that guy right there. These guys that were over here wouldn't have had any shots on you. That 1357 was inconsequential anyways, right? And you can get shots on that 140. Taking that 140 down would have given you this area right here. This area right here is really important to winning this side efficiently, because it gives you so much cover. You took too much damage from those Tiger 2s when you were basically out here, because you can get shot from this Tiger 2, you get shot from this Tiger 2, you get shot by that RU-251. You can control more of the encounters if you're on this, or the engagements if you're on this side of the wall, because again, crack kills, you can shoot through the crack. You can back up over here, which gives you cover from this Tiger over there if he decides that he wants to poke out and try to shoot you. Yeah, at that point you had relative control over the 0 line, because the E100 driven up the 0 line. So I felt like you could have played this area a lot more efficiently. You didn't need to drive out into the field after that 1390. All you had to do is just sit right here this entire time, and you would have had shots on him, 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 shots on him. All right, and that would have made a difference if either their GWE was paying attention, or if the E100 was, you know, not a bot, or non-AFK. Then that would have made a difference, because then either of those guys could have shot you as you're driving through over here. But if you just sit right here, right, neither of those guys have shots on you. But you always have shots on that 1390. There's nowhere that 1390 could run that you weren't going to have shots on him. And then it was tough at the end, because you probably weren't going to have enough health, even if you were still at full health, to beat all of those guys. But that's one of the things, like, you want to, if you come out here, especially if you think that you have them overmatched, you want to crush this side as fast as you possibly can. Alright, let's see. So if we look at the stats. Sorry. So 7k damage. That's not bad. I think this was one of these was the E100 that was out there with you. I don't normally send an E100 to the field. I don't think that's that great of a play, but to each his own. I mean, he ended up doing some stuff. All right. That mouse that drove through the middle wrecked your team, unfortunately. That's very sad. But that's one of the things, is that if you control that middle F line, like if you control it solidly, you'll get shots on that mouse. Even if there's guys literally just on the other side of the wall from you. Oh well, nice try. GG. Good shot efficiency. Just a little bit faster, I think, might have made a difference. Nice try, though. I will send you a code through the... I assume that all of these are... Well, I guess I shouldn't assume. Are you guys all on North American server? Second Circle and AFK? Alright, another Object 140 game, this time on Abbey. Alrighty, no artillery, roughly similar comps. Yeah, I would still play through the middle. I like playing through the middle of the Abbey from this side. I think it gives you a good opportunity to control the Abbey, and then you can relocate to shoot either side. You can shoot into this 8 line if they stall out in this area over here, which is usually helpful for your team. Alright, so then you always watch where your team goes, so you're sending a couple of your 10s out to the 8 line, which is fine. You'll have to keep an eye on that though to see what happens. You're sending a couple of guys to the west, not that many. Well, you have to be careful. Remember the 140's got kind of a weak turret roof. There's an E50M low, not too much of a worry.
It's a trap!
You can stay up there. Your bat chat is low.
It's a trap!
Okay, so what I would do is I would relocate now to this side of the Abbey, because see how you guys are pushing forward, so if they've got dudes there, you'll be able to pick them up. Looks like your bat chat's getting pushed. Yeah. It's too late, you're not going to be able to get there to save him. You're doing some driving around here without much purpose. So that's fine, you can come over here. But again, so if you're on the side of the Abbeys, like, see where that JPE is, you can get shots at him.
It's a trap!
Careful, there's gonna be a guy right there. Shoot that T-54A1 as you can. Yeah, you didn't need to quite drive that far in order to shoot him. Don't worry about the Indian, shoot the T-54. The T-54 is the one that can't avoid you. There's nowhere for that T-54 to run, and you want to kill him before the T-57 is reloaded. Okay. And then they're busting through on this side, so you will actually want to just turn around and leave, because it's going to take you too long to break the T-57 from this side. You don't control enough of the other side. And then you don't actually want to go in this window here right now, you actually want to go over on this side, because there's no artillery, and that'll give you good shots on that E50M and on everything over here as well. You can just zoom in. Yeah, just use regular aim.
It's a trap!
Let your team help you here. Let your team shoot these guys. Like you can get to the backside of this T-54 really easily, and nothing else can shoot you. Let your team do some work. You need to get over here, because then none of these guys can shoot you. They can only shoot you if you move forward. You can shoot all of these guys from over here. Like you can push that T-54 proto. Like there's nothing stopping you from doing that. And if you do it, there's nothing that they can do about it. Don't worry about that E75. You need to prevent your guys in the middle from being flanked from 12 different areas. Don't worry about that Centurion. The Centurion can't affect you. Just shoot that guy. Just shoot the T-34. Be like he's just sitting there. No, you don't need to be fancy. Just go out there, aim at his face. No, aim at the turret. Aim at the turret. He's got side turret face towards you. And kill him. Yeah. Oh. Good. Okay, I didn't think you need to use auto in there. And then, no, you can stay there. Nothing can shoot you. That's the beauty of being where you're at right now. You can turn off auto aim, just use regular aim. Okay, you moved out a little bit so the E75, the other E75 can shoot you. And then right now you should be shooting turret. There you go. Good job. Good job. Okay. Now focus on that other E75 to see if he's coming around on that side. It looks like he's up in that area. That's fine. He'll get taken care of. See if you can. They're gonna push here at some point, I think. They've got the T-34. You can actually push out down here. Push the T-34 because you don't want to push these guys. This is where their strength is. Their weakness is their one lone T-34 over there. Right, this is their strength. They've got 2 10s and an 8 here. If you kill this guy, then you can be around on the flank. You free up your own E4 over here. You've got another 10 with you.
It's a trap!
Getting owned by the Indian Panzer. Yeah, now you can't push the T-34 anymore is the problem. So now they got all the hand because they don't need to push you guys. So once again, you need to go back and see if you can help this guy over here. So there's this window where you needed to kill this guy and then come up. You and the E4 needed to come up, and you could have crushed this in time to come back to base. But now you can't. There's not enough time to do that. Now you just have to go back to base. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. You're gonna have to just try to get ad reset. No, make sure you pull all the way back. Pull back. Pull back. Don't shoot him. Yeah.
It's a trap!
Lol.
It's a trap!
They're gonna be behind you. Behind ya!
It's a trap!
Nice try. So anyways, I think there are multiple points of failure there. I think you kind of hung out in this middle area a bit too long. Your back chat overextended. You weren't really in a position to cover him, but you should have watched that, and you could see that play develop, and you could have come over here and without risk to yourself gotten shot on those guys that were pushing in around to get to your back chat. But you kind of drove around here for a little while, and then you came over here, which is fine. I mean, I thought you did a good job of actually repositioning and then looking on this line. Again, I think going back, you were a little bit too, what's the word that I'm looking for, too callous with your health. You basically just sat on this ridge and said, oh, I'll let everybody shoot me in order to try to kill an E50M. But the E50M wasn't punishing your team. The E50M was just kind of sitting on the ramp there. and that wasn't really that big of a deal. And all you really had to do was go over to this area right here, and you could have owned that E50M, and nothing else could have shot you. The playing this ridge right here is not really that safe of an idea, of not that safe of a place to be, unless you sort of have to reset the cap. But that wasn't the situation. The situation was you had a bunch of guys down in here, this area right here, that were sort of starting to encapsulate your guys in the base, right? They have the E75 on the other side, and so you could have come over here, you could have taken out that T54 Proto, you could have taken out that E50M from over here with essentially not taking any damage at all. And then these guys have a choice then, right? What do? Do they drive up this ramp at you where your base can shoot into them? Do they drive up this ramp at them where you can shoot at them, right? Though neither of those are very appealing choices. And so that's the advantage of playing right there instead of right there. And so there's only a 50-meter difference between the two, but functionally it's a huge difference in that. And so you need to recognize that the only way that I'm going to get shots right here is if a ton of tanks also have shots on me, and that's not a good exchange, unless you absolutely have to, like they're going to cap you out sort of thing. And don't rush your shots, especially shots where tanks aren't looking at you. You should use auto aim a little bit less at distances of about 200 meters or so, unless you're on the move or going around a corner or something like that. That was the only other thing that I noticed. Alrighty, otherwise, say 6k damage, 24 for 28, it's not bad, only 18 pens, some of the shots that you had were not so good, although you didn't do that well against the Indian Proto, or the Indian Panzer, but I think you probably recognize that. Otherwise, yeah, not too bad, nice effort. I'm sorry. Oh, the other thing is, hang on. Before I send you along your way. The other thing is that, so there was a pocket right here at that late game where you came up over here, you had your FV-183, and I forget the other tank that was over here. They had a T-57 E50M and the Indian Panzer. They were all locked in right here. They had a full health T-34 over here. You had an E4 that was in this F1 position. If you just pushed and killed this T-34, you and the E4 could have come up on the flank of those guys, and that's the end of that little pocket right there. They have to push out or they have to do something. But you basically traded kind of poorly right there. You're able to get their T-54 down, or was that? I think that was at the same time. No, that was earlier. Never mind. Anyways, so you were you didn't trade that well right here to justify that position where you could have freed up your tier 10 over here and by killing this T-34 and opened up this flank over here on these guys, and that could have crushed this side faster, and that maybe you would have been able to get back to base in time. Nice try, though. GG. Thanks for the resubs, Milol.